JSON files, working with the JSON. Data and use it to understand the techniques, right? What is difference between XML, HTTP and fetch? XML, HTTP is implicitly synchronous. Explicitly, we have to make it asynchronous. By default, it is not asynchronous. But XML, HTTP is the native method of browser. That means browser uses this as a native object for communicating with any APIs and all. So it is not great in error handling. The response will be returned in the form of text. We need to lead lot of parsing techniques. These all basic things we learned. What is advantage of fetch? So by default, what is fetch? Technically, what is fetch? Promise. You have to use that word. Fetch is a promise. And promises are by default asynchronous. JavaScript promises are by default asynchronous, right? But still, what is the point is fetch will return every data in a binary form, which we need to convert into the required format. So how the fetch works, already I showed you an example how to handle it. Now we have another technique. Today we will see another technique, that is jQuery Ajax. jQuery Ajax. We have another jQuery Ajax. Actually, jQuery is a library, is a JavaScript library. So it provides various methods for DOM and BOM, browser model, DOM model. Several methods are provided by jQuery Ajax. So it will provide different methods for handling. And actually jQuery provides Ajax methods to handle interactions with external files and data and API. You can simply say file and APIs. So files and API. So jQuery Ajax is another technique that you can use to communicate with APIs. Now, what is the advantages of jQuery Ajax is, generally in real-time development, if you ask which one is mostly used everywhere, is jQuery Ajax. That means majority of web projects, they completely depend on jQuery Ajax. Because I hope you already know, you learn JavaScript very well, but in real-time projects, we never use JavaScript directly. You know that? Do you know we don't use JavaScript directly in any project? So we use JavaScript based libraries, JavaScript based frameworks in real world projects. We don't use JavaScript anywhere. But to deal with JavaScript libraries, JavaScript frameworks, we need knowledge of JavaScript. Without JavaScript, you are not a developer. And your interviews, everything will be on JavaScript also. But in reality, in real time projects, we never use directly JavaScript. Today you go and go to the source of web page. There you will see lot of script is written. Lot of script is written. You search in that script, is there any get element by ID? Document get element by ID? Or is there any query selector? Document dot query selector? You will not find, because out of 100, 90 web applications are using jQuery. Now recently they are transforming from jQuery to Angular, React, Vue, and other libraries and frameworks. Even today, currently, the most occupied in web designing is jQuery library. Majority of projects, every requirement almost, use you go to Naukri website and search as Java full stack, .NET full stack, web full stack developer. Almost in every requirement you will find jQuery. JavaScript, jQuery. Every requirement, because JavaScript we don't use directly. We use JavaScript based libraries, and jQuery is very popular in this. Configuring interactions of DOM, browser interactions, and Ajax. JavaScript library jQuery is used with lot of Ajax methods. What is specialty about this jQuery is actually means jQuery Ajax methods provide tracking of complete life cycle of Ajax request. That means actually they provide $.ajax, $.getJSON like methods. They have Ajax start, they have Ajax success, they have Ajax complete. So they have Ajax stop, they have Ajax error. These are all Ajax lifecycle methods actually. So these Ajax lifecycle methods will allow the developer to understand exactly where the issue comes. That means we can track every phase clearly by using these methods. So we will not learn any jQuery here, but I will just give you a simple concept of how jQuery Ajax is used in our React. But in real world projects, so we don't need to use this jQuery Ajax in React, because React have other third parties also, we can try them. But some projects which are already working with jQuery like libraries in their existing environment, they prefer using jQuery Ajax in even React. How this works and what are the features? Features is what are the features when compared to fetch. That means we are having better features in fetch when compared to XML HTTP. And when compared to this fetch, jQuery Ajax have some better functions, better features. What are those features is, as I already showed you, first important is it provides complete life cycle tracking. So it is good in tracking errors. It is very good in tracking errors. It provides complete life cycle tracking. When Ajax request started, when Ajax request ended, like that. Another important is it returns data directly. It returns response data. Yeah. It returns response data directly in the format provided by source. In the format provided by source. So it doesn't require conversions here. It doesn't require parsing techniques. Actually, in XML, HTTP, in fetch, we need different parsing techniques. We need different parsing techniques. We need different parsing techniques. And what is the point is the parsing techniques are not required in jQuery Ajax because jQuery Ajax internally can understand exactly what data is coming and it will provide data in that format. If you are communicating with a HTML page, response will be HTML. If you are communicating with a JSON, the response will be JSON. If it is XML, it will be XML. So you don't need any conversions. Fetch needs conversion. Another one, jQuery, XML, HTTP also require conversions. But here we don't need any conversions. And another important point is it can manage CORS, cross origin resource sharing. It can manage the CORS origin resource sharing. Yesterday I explained what is that. So these are little better features when compared to the fetch and when compared to XML HTTP. So how this works, let's see how we have to use this. So first point is you have to install jQuery for your project. You have to install jQuery for your project. And how do you install jQuery for the project is npm install jQuery and save. And actually, complete jQuery library is present in a um, anonymous function. Actually, complete jQuery library is present in a anonymous function that is dollar. That means jQuery related all the references are kept inside this dollar. That means now what we need to do is technically what we need to do here is dollar means so here the dollar refers to the complete library of jQuery. All the functions are present inside this dollar. We can invoke that by using dollar dot all jQuery methods. So jQuery is present inside this reference dollar. So what we have to do? So you have to import dollar from jQuery library in the component where you want to use. So where you want to use what you want to use the Ajax methods. Where you want to use the Ajax methods. So The complete jQuery library is built in an anonymous function, and that anonymous function is defined under the reference of dollar. You can access all the jQuery methods by using this dollar, right? So you see here, usually now I will open. This is our project already there. So we will install the jQuery. npm install jQuery and save. So we are downloading the jQuery library. Actually, you don't need to see the jQuery library. You just need to import, but I will show you here. In node modules, you will have a jQuery. So jQuery will be there. Yeah. So this is JSON, right? This is jQuery. In jQuery dist jQuery.js. This is jQuery.js. And actually the complete jQuery is present in an anonymous function. You know this in JavaScript. What does it means? Anonymous function. And this anonymous function can be accessed with the reference of dollar. That means you can import this function and function related all inside that all the methods are present. All the methods are present. Complete jQuery library is defined inside this anonymous function. So what we need to do is, I will remove this now. Actually, this is our page. This is our page and I will remove this now. Fetch I am removing. I am not using fetch anymore. Then the result is empty. So we don't have any data coming from the JSON file. It is empty now. Let's use jQuery Ajax. So what we are doing, we are importing. We have to import dollar from what is the library jQuery. We have to import from jQuery. Once you do this, and now what you can do, you can make an Ajax call. Any jQuery functionality you can use here. jQuery related any method you can access. And how do we make an Ajax request? So configure Ajax method. So you have to configure the Ajax method $.ajax. Ajax method requires some Ajax related settings. What are the options it requires? First important method. It requires URL. It uses data and it uses the success. Success is a callback function which executes when request is success. Error is a callback function that executes when any error occurs. That is the basic syntax of Ajax. And every time all are not required, but regularly the method and URL are very common things. So you know what is method. So method, so it refers to HTTP verbs. We call them as HTTP verbs like get, post, put, patch, delete. These are all the HTTP verbs. So URL, so this URL actually it refers to file or URL, remote URL. So and the data is nothing but actually it is the data to send on post. and put. It is the data to send on post and post, put and patch actually. So success, actually it is a callback that gets response, that gets response on success. It is a callback that gets response on success. Actually, response have so many things. Status, response have status text, response have data, and response have headers. So many details will be returned by this success. Success is a callback that returns response. That response contains so many details. Like status means status will return the status code. Status code. Status code means like 200 for OK, 404 for not found, 302 for method, like that. Actually, status returns the code. That means 200 and like 404. Status text means it returns the text for that code. OK, not found, like that. Data is nothing but resource data. In the resource, whatever data it is JSON, it is XML, it is whatever data, it is XML, JSON, HTML, any data. Headers means it returns the content type, request type. All these details will be returned by headers. So jQuery Ajax, it is providing a success callback, and on success lot of details are written. That is the reason it is little better when compared to fetch in error handling, because we know the status correctly, which status code it is returning, which status text it is returning, what data it is returning, it is well known. We have error. So what is that error again? Error, it is a callback that returns error log. It returns the error log. Error log contains information about what is the issue in your request. That means error message, error description, everything you will get by using this error. So this is the jQuery Ajax basic request technique. And we are not learning jQuery here, so we will stick to only what is a simple Ajax method looks like here, right? We are not learning jQuery here. So we are just learning only a simple Ajax method of jQuery. So a React developer can use XML object, it can use fetch, or you can use jQuery Ajax. So in load data, now what we are doing, we are using dollar dot what? Ajax. Now this dollar you need to import from jQuery. That is very important. And dollar Ajax. Now Ajax settings have method. And what is the method? Method is what? Get. And URL is coming from which location? Products dot what? JSON. And next. So next is on data. We will do that on post. Currently we are using get. Get means we are fetching. We are not sending any data. If you are sending any data, you have data. We are not sending any data. So directly success. Success uses a callback which will get a response. Now what we need to do with that response? Response contains lot of details. In that we need only data. And that data we will set into product. Set product, what is it? Response dot data. That's it. And if you want to track the error and report the error, then you can just put so error. Error uses a callback. It will get an exception and you can display that exception and show to the developer. Console.log we will put as what? Exception. Error also a callback which returns the error and it will display. That's it. This is how we use a jQuery Ajax. So it is fetching the data and here no conversions required. If you have observed XML HTTP, we have to use JSON parse. If you have used fetch, we have to use .json, converting the response. But here just get the response data. And the data will be displayed here. What is it? It is having a problem in image. Some issue in the image. Actually, it is product.json, not products.json. That is the file. Now it has to get the data and display. So we have a problem in this. Yeah, response is coming. Actually, a small mistake here. Actually, this is not data, just response. Response.data is in another third party. What is the third party? Is Axios, in Axios. Here you don't need data, just you need what? Response. Response is going to get all the information. It will directly get the data and display the data. Status text, status codes, we will see how to handle them in the next level also we will have. So it is just accessing the data and displaying the data and showing. This time we are using what? jQuery Ajax. But this is also not used regularly. Why? Because already you are using a library. React itself is a library. Then again a jQuery library which is a DOM library. That doesn't look sensible and it doesn't make much sense also. Why? Because you are using React to avoid actual DOM. And what this jQuery Ajax is doing, again using an actual DOM. Then this doesn't satisfy, but we are learning to understand that it is also possible. So why we don't prefer XML HTTP or fetch or jQuery Ajax, even they are possible because they are all DOM actions. And React intention is virtual DOM. So we need a library which can use virtual DOM and handle the interactions. That is the reason. I will give an example here. This example is same. What is it? Ajax demo.jsx. I will copy this one. Okay. And that is the example we are having. Next. Now, the better one than this jQuery Ajax is we have what is the issue with jQuery Ajax? XML HTTP request, fetch, and jQuery Ajax. jQuery Ajax methods, all of them use actual DOM. All of them use actual DOM. They use actual DOM. XML HTTP request, fetch, jQuery Ajax methods, all of them use actual DOM. So hence React developers, React developers use various third party libraries that can use third-party libraries which can use which one? Which can use virtual DOM. Which can use virtual DOM. And we have so many libraries like Axios. We have like what WG. what WG fetch. You have so many, like we have Telerik fetch. There are so many third parties. So there are various third parties which you can use for interacting with the APIs. Axios is one popular one which we will use regularly in this React jQuery Ajax environment. To make Ajax calls, to interact with APIs, to get the data, then we can just use this Axios. So Axios have a lot of features. That means here we will see Axios related features. Actually, it is a third party library, and here one point is you can explore more third party libraries in npmjs.com. You can explore more third party libraries in npmjs.com. That is official Node Package Manager's website. You can go there, you just search, I want React API libraries, hundreds, thousands will be there. And that depends. So the company, their requirement, they use different kinds of libraries. So let's see here. Actually, the official website. Let's go to the official website here. So Jake, this is npmjs.com. This is npmjs, and here you search for Axios, or you just search for React fetch, or you can say React API requests. Just search for that. Then it can give you so many. So there are so many libraries available. You can use any of them. But generally what we prefer as developer is the best suitable one with good features for every situation without any issues, because these are all developed by developers like you, and they post here. That means you can also design one and you can give it here. Then in some occasions they may fail, they may not have a good support. That's the reason we always prefer trusted, regularly used ones. And you see Axios is one third party, and you see what is the Axios. This is Axios. So this is the Axios, and this is Axios. And see what they claim, what Axios people claim, what are the features they claim. So you see, they say that it will make XML HTTP request from browser. Already we know, because we already discussed yesterday that everyone have to use finally XML HTTP on. Even you are using fetch, even you are using jQuery, Angular, React, everybody finally have to use XML HTTP. But yesterday you saw directly designing this. But developers will reduce the effort. They use these kind of third parties, which will simplify. But internally they have to use this, right? So, and see, it is a promise based API. It's okay. We know what is a promise based API means. It is asynchronous. Promise based APIs are always by default asynchronous. That is already we know. So intercepts request and response, good. What is the intercepting, transforming request and response data means? You don't need much parsing techniques. It will easily intercept means what? You don't need to translate. It will easily understand what data is coming. That's okay. That doesn't make, these are all not great features, because already we know fetch is also having similar features. It can cancel requests. Okay, good. This is one issue in fetch and jQuery Ajax. Once you in jQuery Ajax, we can set time intervals and all, But canceling requests you can do in jQuery Ajax also, but it is explicitly designed. That means, do you know, once you make a request, you cannot cancel the request. Majority applications follow this. That's the reason you might have seen you are doing some money transaction in phone pay, Paytm, or banking applications. Once you send the request, you can't cancel it. It is done. That means once you send the request, you cannot cancel that request. That means it is completed. That means you cannot cancel it. So that means it is committed. That request is committed. It processes that request continuously. So it is very important that it cancels the request. Okay, good. Automatically transforms JSON data. It's okay. It is okay because that is already jQuery is also doing, automatically transforming the data. So, and client side support for protecting against cross-site scripting request forgeries. This is good. This is okay, good. So see, to satisfy an experienced person in all the features, this all doesn't look great also. That means a person who have lot of experience in working with Ajax, these all are general things. That means for newcomers who are learning technology newly, they may think like, oh, these are all good features, great features. But for experts, these are all nothing. We want more. We want more. So every third party is not enough with all the features. So for general people, newcomers, these all looks good, great. But these are all general things. These are very basics in security. Actually, when you are developing an application, the main concept is what are the features of Axios features. That means what are their special features which they haven't mentioned also, I will tell you. That means, remember, this is a documentation provided by Axios. Axios people given this documentation, and usually it is not necessary that everything will be inside this documentation. They have so many other features also which they are not mentioning here, but they have, because people who use it, who work with it, have an experience with it, they know their specialities. That means they know their features. So even they are not mentioning, there are some more features. What are those? I will tell you here. What is the basic feature of Axios? What Axios is telling? So Axios is means, I am talking about features when compared to our others. So one important feature, what is that feature is? So it avoids conversions, explicit conversions. Explicit conversions. That means explicit parsing is not required. We can internally convert it. It internally converts. It can cancel the request. It can cancel the request. We can cancel the request. Another, so it is promise based API. So promise based API means we know that it is asynchronous. It is asynchronous. And what is the special they have and they haven't mentioned there is, actually what they mentioned is it prevents cross site request forgery. XSRF, cross site request forgery. Cross site request forgery. That is request forgery. And not only that, it prevents so cross site scripting attacks. Cross site scripting attacks. Cross site scripting attacks and cross site request forgery. Cross site request forgery and cross site scripting attacks. Actually, this is nothing but what is request forgery and scripting attacks is, Generally, scripting attacks, I hope you people know in web designing, actual what is the concept of scripting attacks. Suppose you are having a text box. In the text box, we have a option like name. That means somebody have to enter a name inside the text box. Now, what is the point in this text box? I am entering the name. What is the name? Suppose I am entering like this. What I am trying to do? That means I am trying to write some query. So, and I am trying to submit a query through a text box, through a text box. So, and in many occasions it is allowed. And if it is allowed, then it is very dangerous. It is not good, right? It is not good. So why it is not good? So because why it is not good? This is called cross-site scripting attacks. Actually, you can just call XSS. That means people call it as XSS, cross-site scripting. Cross-site scripting attack is nothing but usually what happens is you are allowing users to write a query. And if you are allowing to write a query, then it will affect your application. That means this leads to, I hope you learned in Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server like databases. If you learned, they have a lot of injection attacks. If you learned any database, you know SQL injection. Databases are affected with injection attacks. That means if you are allowing any query from a input element, that is very dangerous. And why sometimes we allow this? Sometimes we allow this because we usually design wiki-like content. Wiki means wiki refers to quick. Wiki is an Hawaiian word which means quick. So what is a wiki on web designing? Wiki allows any user to edit its content. A wiki allows anyone to edit its content. What you know already, web means not websites. Web means not websites. Usually web contains lot of things. I hope you already learned in basics of web, right? What web comprises of? Web comprises of website, web comprises of web application, web comprises of blogs, it comprises of microblogs, it comprises of wikis. So wiki, it comprises of podcasting, it comprises of widgets. Web is a combination of so many things. Web is not website. Web designing is not developing a website. That means on internet, it is not only websites and web applications. We have a lot of things. What do you call Spotify as? It is a podcaster. Spotify, Geo7. What are these? Podcasters. They are not websites. They are not websites, right? What you call Twitter as? Twitter is a microblogger. Twitter is a microblogger. It is not a social website. Right? It is a microblogger. Technically, it is a microblogger. Do you know microblogger means? Many people can post information into single place on a single page. That is microblogger. Twitter is a microblogger. Even an ordinary newspaper person knows. Do you know how he writes in newspaper? Today in microblogger Twitter, this person tweeted this message. Even he knows that Twitter is not a website. It is a microblog. Technically, it is a microblog. And what are wikis? Wikis allow anyone to edit its content. For example, you open Naresh IT website. There are some mistakes in their course content. Can you modify? You cannot modify. If it allows to modify, then it is called wiki. It is called wiki. So, do you know why wiki Wikipedia is wiki, right? Actually, what is the meaning of Wikipedia? A quick reference of encyclopedia. And the meaning of wiki means quick. And wiki technical intention is allow anyone to edit the content. For example, do you know IMDb? I hope you people know IMDb. IMDb, this is IMDb Internet Movie Database. IMDb, this is IMDb. And for example, you see in IMDb, you will get ratings and reviews of all the international movies worldwide, everything you will get here. For example, you see in IMDb, I am selecting any movie. In IMDb, I am selecting any movie. That means these are all the movies we are having. That means I am selecting any movie on IMDb. When I select on any movie, you can see that the movie related some information will come. And observe carefully when movie related information comes like cast and everything, and you can see there is an option here. And what is the option? Add photo edit. That means they will show you cast and crew. They will give you storyboard. You know more than what they have written there. Then right, you can contribute. This is wiki. IMDb is not a website. Technically, it is a wiki. These are called wikis, right? So even Google Maps is a wiki. Google Maps is a wiki. That means you can pin any location, you can name any location, you can recommend changes in the location. Right? These are called as what? Wikis. So web is not website. Do you know at experience level when you go to interview to test your skills, they will first ask, tell me what is difference between a website and a web application. If you don't know that, then that's like joke. Like you are a Java developer and you say you don't know difference between website and a web application. What you are talking about? And really both are different. And unfortunately, our developers don't know, right? They can't tell. Ask what is difference between a website and a web application, right? A Java developer, .NET developer, learners, these all people, they don't have idea of even website and web application difference. They don't know. They think web means website, right? All are different. Do you know to design them, we need different technologies. So what is the problem with websites? If anybody asks how I can secure a website, when you are developing a website or a web application, the primary security things are cross-site scripting attacks. Another one, request forgery. Axios is saying that we will help you in that. That's very good. Cross-site scripting attacks means you allow anybody to write a query and post the query so that it affects. Right? If you are allowing that, that is not great. You have to prevent that. That is what actually cross-site scripting attack. What is cross-site request forgery? Request forgery is nothing but request forgery is everywhere in general. You see, do you know, for example, we are having a movie. You see movies online. Suppose Netflix and Amazon people purchase a movie rights, right? But there are so many illegal websites which will immediately release that movie. Am I right? That means how they are doing it. How they are doing it. That means they are making a request forgery. They are making a request forgery. For example, see. So request forgery, for example, I will show you here. Suppose, so we are having, in general HTML also you can do that. For example, see, we have an iframe. Iframe, some width is, so width is some 50% and height is some 400. And observe here, I am opening here YouTube Naresh IT. This is Naresh IT, some YouTube channel. Now in this YouTube Naresh IT, several videos are present. So I will select some video And what I will do, I will pause this video and let me copy that video related code. You know, this is video related code at the top. Copy that code. This is video related code. I am copying that video related code. Okay. And I will close this now. That means I am not using this anymore. Yeah. And what I do, go here, and here I am using src for iframe as https://www.youtube.com/embed/ that video code. I am making a forgery of that video. Originally, to watch the video, I have to go to YouTube, but I linked it in my website. And you see, when I run this, in my website, that video can be available. And remember, that depends on the, so here www, yeah, that video is available here. Now what you are doing, so you are making a forgery of the requests. That means now people will not go to YouTube, they will come to your website and watch the videos from your website. That means every few days we have to complain cybercrime people, our Naresh ID. Because what people do, students, they record all the video sessions, they create one YouTube channel and upload. And we just put a complaint on cybercrime, it will be very serious later actually for them. That means when we put in cybercrime, because we have all copyrights for those recordings and all, even Zoom recordings, WebEx recordings also, we have copyrights. And we don't take seriously because they are students, right? If we directly tell the cybercrime people that we want serious action on them, they will be in jail immediately, wherever they may be hiding in the world, right? But we just leave because we get a little bit publicity from those people also, right? That is the reason we leave. Do you know, for example, these are all forgeries, means originally they have to come to me, but they are redirected. For example, I will show you here. So let's Google. In the Google, I'm searching for my name. Suppose I am searching for my name. I will get some results. I am searching for my name and I am getting some results. Observe here. You will see that suppose here there are so many websites. Websites what? You have the websites of, I will show you some other websites. This is a website. This is Script. It is some third party website. Actually what it is doing, it is selling my notes. It is selling my notes, right? My HTML notes, my React notes, it is selling. I don't care about that in general. Actually, it is present in my repositories. That means in our Naresh IT cloud repositories, these all are the content available. Actually, people can register, can log in, and they can pay for it and access from Naresh IT. And these people make a forgery and put in their website. And if you want to watch that, then you have to buy from them. That means you want to watch, then you have to buy. You want to download, then you need to buy. That means you have to buy from those people. So you have to buy. So technically, these are all called request forgeries. Request forgery means you are diverting the traffic. So you have to go to original location, but you are going to somewhere else and you are using from there. So this is very effect for their business. And these kind of problems are regularly in website designing. So a developer have to take precautions to avoid forgery. Remember, reading from another website is okay, it's fine. But posting from that website is too dangerous. Posting from that website is too dangerous. That means somebody goes to some other website, from there they register into my website. That is dangerous. That is not a good idea. We have to prevent these request forgeries. So you need to know why those features are provided. So you need to understand. So this is actually 2 points. So cross-site request forgery. That is one option. Another one is cross-site scripting attacks. So scripting attacks. It prevents these two. That's good. Another important feature is it can handle multiple requests simultaneously at the same time. Simultaneously at the same time. It can handle multiple requests simultaneously at the same time. So technically, these are some important features. Actually, fetch can make one request. jQuery Ajax can make one request, but here you can create an array of requests. Array of requests. That means at a time, multiple requests you can manage. So later, when we work with APIs, posting and all, we will check these, right? They have multiple requests. That means, so how it works actually. So we have like Axios. Axios can use, actually this is single request. This is usually single request. And actual this Axios can provide an array of requests, multiple requests it can handle. Axios can handle multiple requests. This is multiple requests. It can manage multiple requests. That is basically the features. They haven't mentioned about this in their features list, but this is one good feature they have which developers regularly use. There are so many such important features which they may not highlight every time, but they are good in the point of developer view. That because developer once he uses it, he will experience good features in it. And they may not be mentioned there, but they are good for our projects. So that's the reason we have all these important options. Now let's see how to use this. How to use this. So first step, what you have to do, install Axios for React project. That is the same thing we have to do. It is what? npm install Axios and save. And next we have to import Axios from Axios module. So we have import Axios. So from Axios, we have to do that. And configure Axios request. Actually, there are so many techniques. You can use Axios, and here you can define settings. Settings include method, URL, so URL, data, and all these things. Or you have shorthand technique, Axios.get. We have Axios.post. Directly shorthand we can give. Axios.put, Axios.delete. And it is a promise based. It is promise based. Promise based means what? Promise based. So hence it contains then method, catch method. Another one is finally. Every promise contains three important methods. One is then, catch, finally. Then executes on success, catch will on error, and finally execute always. It is a promise based, hence it contains then, catch, finally. We can use it. So syntactically, what we do, Axios dot get, you can define the URL or file path, and dot then uses a callback function. It will get a response. I'll just give clarity wise in the next line. Response, and we have a response dot data, which will collect the data, and dot catch, so an error, and we have catch finally. Finally uses a callback that execute always. Here also we have response status text, response headers. So, and here we have response data. That is important. We cannot use just response. The data is present in response data. Response data. So, how it works, for example, let's see here. So we are displaying the data. I will remove this. Now I will remove this jQuery as X, fine. And now you see jQuery as X is not there. I will clean up this jQuery import also. Now we need to set up another one. What is it? We have to install npm install. Install is what? Axios. Axios and save. We are installing that Axios and save. Okay. Once Axios is installed, we have to import Axios from Axios. That is what we have to do. And I think already you know in JavaScript, no need to explain. In JavaScript module systems, you learned what is difference between import some name from some module, and what is difference between import name from module. You know the difference, no? Yeah. What is difference between not using a block and using a block? Because here I am using a block. Even for one also I have to use a block. And here I am not using a block. Now tell me why it is not using a block. It is not using a block because it is declared as default export. If any class or any function is marked as default export, and you know in every module only one can be default export. If it is a default export, then what it happens is default exports use a eager loading mechanism. Eager loading mechanism means it loads and it will automatically destroy. So lazy loading is you define when to start, when to stop. That means it requires a start and stop. It will start, it will stop. but it will not have a start and stop because it will directly load. It will directly load. In JavaScript, usually you learn when you declare any function, export function. This is a normal function designed for export. We have export, default, and function. If any function or any class is marked as default, then you can directly use it. If it is not marked as default, then you have to use in a block. So that is general JavaScript module system approach actually, right? It is a default export. If it is a default export, we do that. Generally in JavaScript, we have that. For example, this is some file. Yeah. Usually what we do is when we create a separate file, suppose I am having some JavaScript file. We have export function and the function name. Function name some print, that is the function name. There is another option. What is it? Export default. Default what? Function. Function some addition. Like this we can define. Now this is the default function which will automatically load. You don't need a start and stop. This is a function which needs a start and stop. You need to define a start and stop. And like this, we have export default and function, suppose subtract. So you cannot have like this. It is not possible to have, two default in one module system. In module, there can be only one default. And if it is default, then while importing, what we do is generally while importing, we import by using without curly brace. If you use that, it will be an error for that. It cannot work. Later, it will show failure. You should use without it. And these you have to use with block. You cannot use without block because they are not default, right? So now Axios is imported. Just what we are doing, we are using what? We are dealing Axios. Axios dot which method? Get. Get from which location? Get from product dot what? JSON. And dot then. If it is successful, we will collect the response. And what we will do? That response data we will set in product. Set product. We have to get response dot what? Data. That's it. That looks little more simple. That means we are simplifying the approach. XML, HTTP lengthy, little shorter is fetch, and little more shorter is jQuery Ajax, little more better is Axios. Actually, it is not depending on how much lengthy, shorter you are writing, it depending on features. And it is the same thing. That means this time we are accessing by using Axios and we are configuring the. Currently you are learning only get. Later you will learn post, put, delete, how to handle. For that we need to create a complete environment, right? This is another example and this is the example of same. What is it? Axios demo.jsx. JSX. That is Axios. This is Ajax demo. Same file I am using. So Ajax demo, but in that we are using Axios. So in regular React, we will not go with XML, HTTP or fetch or jQuery Ajax. We will use only Axios. But we should know all the techniques because in interviews, that is the first thing they ask. That means you will say that I know a shortcut method. He will say that no, tell me the original way. Because shortcut everyone knows. I want the original way. Interview is all about asking you about the actual process. That means they say that what you will tell about Axios in interview, I don't want anything from there. So you tell me originally how Ajax request works in a browser. Then I can understand that you know Ajax. Knowing a method, everybody knows. That's a simple thing, right? But the architecture behind is important. That's the reason we need to know all the techniques to understand different techniques. I hope you are clear. So now let's see one more example, little more complex, means some other data we will see. For example, then we will work with live APIs. Once we know about the JSON, we will work with live APIs now. We will see that. Initially, observe. Let's do one more thing. Suppose we have some Naresh IT website. In this Naresh IT website, we are having some courses related details. That means we are having some courses. These are actually some cards. I want to design the cards like this. That means I want to design the cards like this. I want the data from source and display the cards. Then how we can do that? Let's see. First, I will copy these pictures. That means I will copy these images. Let me copy these images. Save image as. Actually, that is the image DevOps. Yeah. So let me save this in our project folder. It is in React Shopping Public. It is in yep. So it is in F drive only. Okay. Yep. So I'm saving that page actually here, and this is DevOps. It's a PNG file. Let me save that. Make sure that you are saving in the public folder. And this is save image. This is related to DS data science. Okay, this is .NET. So this is .NET. Okay. And this is Oracle, suppose. We are accessing the data. So Oracle. Okay. These are all PNG files. Now I want to design the cards like this, the data for these cards. In reality, how they have the data, right? Let's go and create one JSON file in the public folder. So we need the public folder, and public folder is having a new file that is courses dot what JSON. And previously our file is having only one object. Now you will have an array. We will have an array of what? Objects. Now we will learn in React how to present complex data also. That means array, how we use multi-level iterations and how we present such data also we will see. Now in this, what is the option they are having? They have a title. So this title is what? So first one is DevOps with AWS. Okay. Second, what is the second one they are having? So second one they are having rating. Rating. Rating is 5. So that is like this we have. Okay. What else? That's just a number they have. Right. And what is it? Start date. Start is, so here I am just using some value. Later you will learn how to convert into dates, right? So this is 12 August 2024. Okay, next we have duration. So this is the faculty, right? Faculty. So the faculty is some name. Okay. So, and another one, what is it? This is duration. Duration, suppose I given some 3 months. Just like this we are giving. So that is what we are defining. And I will copy this now. This is another one. This is the, okay, we have an image also, na? Image. What is that image? Image is devops dot what? PNG. Devops dot PNG. Okay. Then I will copy this. I will put in another one. Okay. In what is this? Another one is suppose full stack data. So full stack data science and AI. Okay. Just I'm giving this, and just we will keep another option same. Yeah. And this is some 4 months, and we have ds.png, data science.png. Okay, like this you put all the other data. I'm just giving show two options, you add all the array. Okay, now how do we present the cards like this? How many cards they are having? So four cards, third and fourth. Just temporarily I will change the image. So this is .net, and this is so Oracle, and this is .net, and this is Oracle. We are having this Oracle. Okay, all these options are designed, that is ready now. Now what we need to do, just we need to present them here, right? Let's do the design. Data is ready, we will create a design. I will go to and add a new component here. We will add a component, and what is the component? The component I will just give as courses. So, and we will add a new file. What is it? Courses dot what? JSX. Now we have a export. So function courses, that is the option. Okay, return. Let's keep it div. So container fluid, and here we will keep some main area. Okay, here we need to get all the details and display. Then we need constant. What is it? Courses. And set what? Courses is equal to use state. What you are expecting this time is an array. You are expecting an array. Array of objects. It is not just array, it is an array of objects, and every object have strongly typed data we need to design here, right? What every array is having? Is having these details. That means title is what type? String. Rating is what type? Number. And what else? So faculty duration. So faculty is also string, duration is also string, and what else we have? So duration I will give this lower start. Yes. Duration I will make sure that all are lowercase. Capitalization matters. Okay. Yeah. And we have duration, we have start. And we have one more. What is it? Image. Image is also string. Okay. Now we have to handle the data coming from here. We will keep it in the startup. And what is it? Courses is in the startup. Currently it is empty. There is nothing. Now we need to present the data here. It is currently empty. Nothing is there. So we need to display the data. So we will use here. So now we will use effect. Okay, use effect is on mount phase what to do. On mount phase what we do, and here how to deal with. Directly you can write here. What is it? Axios. Axios dot get from which location? Courses. Courses dot what? JSON. Make sure that these are imported at the top, right? Yeah. And what is it? Dot then. On then we will get the response, and this response must be updated into that courses. Set what? Course. So set courses, and what is it? Response dot data. We have to set all this. Now the courses is an array. Am I right? Now how do we read the array and present the array here? So we need a binding expression. And what is it? Courses dot map. We have to read every course. For every course, we need to generate a card. Then for every course, I am using a div. This div will have a class called card. It is having a card, and it is having padding 2 margin 2 like this I am adding. And this card will have a image at the top. And usually we will have class as card image top. And image source is coming from, it is coming from where? Course dot what? Image. Course dot image. And I will give height of that image as suppose 130 pixel or something like this. And this card is repeating, then card needs a key. Key I will give as course dot title. Course title I will use as a key. Later, if you have course IDs and all, we can apply them. Initially, this is the card header. Okay. After that, we will create a div. Usually class, we have a card header. In Bootstrap, we have card header, card body, card footer, and all this. In the header, we want to display. So we want to display here. What is it? Course dot title. In the header, we will display title. Next, we will have a class called card body. In the card body, I am using a data list, data term, and here we are displaying that is actually ratings and all we need to display. Under this itself we will do. We'll keep a div, that is the title. After that, the card body. So in the card body, we will keep a div. In this, we will display the ratings. Actually, we need span class bi star fill. And actual, it is having a text, text warning something I am giving. And like this, actually they have 5 stars. Later we will change that count also. Huh? And beside this, in the span last, we want to display. In the span last, we want to display the rating. That means what it is? Course dot rating. Course dot rating we are displaying. In the data term here, we are having duration start. And how to display the start? We will display course. Course dot what? Start. Another one we are having what? Duration. Duration is what? Course. Course dot duration. And what is the next one? Faculty, or they just defined as by. Okay. And we defined course dot what? Faculty. And remember, these are all the cards we are having, and the cards will display like this. And what we are doing is all these kept in the main area. Na? So then I will keep it as dflex, display flex. Then it will display all these cards like this. That means we are accessing the data and presenting. Presenting styles you can change now. I am just using a plain basic style of general concept of Bootstrap actually. Here you want to display this. We will put a class as row. This have a class as call. So class, right. We have a class called call. And this is called 2 or 3 I will give. And this is having, all terms are having the 3. And all definitions are having class as call 9. That means all definitions are having the class. Yeah. Usually I'm just keeping them side by side. I'm just keeping them side by side. That means actually we can adjust this as 4 and this is 8. So 4 and 8. If you want, you can add more also. So this, I'm just giving that so that all the cards will display in like this. I think it is 5 and 7. That's depends on how much content you are presenting there, because we have to share among 12, then it will be fine. And what is this title? We will put text what? Center, then it will keep this text center. Even these ratings and all these things we can keep in center. Class as what? Text center. And we just align them to the center. Right, and all are in the course you change. That means you change the rating. According to rating, we can display different content later. Suppose I said 4, so I said some 4.5, and I said some 3.4, and you see all those rating values will be changing. Later what you can do is, according to them, you can change the stars. For that we need little bit more knowledge on rendering the contents, right? But this is basic how we design the data and present the data, right? I am just creating one card like example here, just to make you understand little different data, right? This is what we have to do. Two files we have. What is it? Course dot what? JSON. Course dot JSON courses, courses JSON file. It is having all this. Another one is course.jsx, courses.jsx. In JSX, I have used this logic. So you can initially try these two, right? You can initially try these two. Once you do this, in the next session, we will learn how to communicate with the real-time API. Real-time APIs means we will take some real-time URLs from where data comes. You can use weather APIs. You can use other kind of real-time APIs, get the data and use. That we'll see in next session. And next session, tomorrow we will have only doubt session. Tomorrow, entire session will be only doubts, online and offline. Only doubts. Doubts means not when course will finish, how much fees you have to pay. So I will kick you out of the class if you come with those doubts. So doubts means what topics you learned up to till date. If you have any issues in them, you come with those doubts, we can resolve them. Tomorrow session only doubts. Every Saturday we will have only doubt session, right? Only doubts. In this week, what you learned, if you have doubts, then on that Saturday session, we will clarify the doubts. So tomorrow we will have only doubt session, online and offline. We will continue tomorrow, right? Thank you.